Hey, what's up? Tyler, Weekly Metal Reviews here, with an album review, a 2014 album review of a highly anticipated album in the metal world, and that is Triptykon with Melana Chasmata. Hope I pronounced that correct. This is their second record. Uh, their first one came out in 2010. This is through Century Media, I believe, yes. And if you don't know Triptykon, it is basically the project in creation. It was created by Tom Gabriel Fisher or Tom Gabriel Warrior, whichever one you decide to call him. And he created Hellhammer, and probably is best known through Celtic Frost, whichever way you want to say that too. Um, Now, I just recently have gotten into Triptykon, earlier this year, when they announced this record. And I've heard so many people talk about Triptykon and how amazing their first record was, and I never really sat down and fully gave it a listen. And I did, and I was blown away. So when this came out, I picked this up day of. I wanted to pick up their first record, but I was running a little short on money at the time, so I wasn't able to. So I went with this one. Definitely will pick up the first one here soon, because this band is fucking amazing. And if you want me to sum up this record right here in one word, I'm going to say diverse. There's so many musical genres thrown into this. Most just metal genres. Yeah. There's a lot of metal genres just thrown into one pot, stirred up, and then it's this record. There's a lot of there's some thrash in here. There's a big doom influence, I feel. And there's some death metal in here. It's all over the place, all over the spectrum, and right away within the first two tracks, you're gonna get a wide range of material. With the first track, Tree of Suffocating Souls, that's probably, I feel, the most energetic song in this record. It's got a very fast pace to it, and very catchy vocals by Tom Gabriel Warrior. And that song is just fucking crushing, and just really is just pulverizing straight from the start, basically saying we take no shit and this is going to be a heavy fucking record. Then you get to the second track, Bolskine House. I hope I pronounced that right. That song is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It's a slower track. It's got female vocals on it, and those female vocals work phenomenally. Shit, I just had her fucking name in my head. I apologize. I had it in my head and it just went away. Simon Vollenweider. I hope I pronounced that right. Lots of hard to pronounce things here. She is the one that does the female vocals, and she does it on a couple of tracks. I know the last track, Waiting, she's phenomenal on that track as well. And I just feel it work. These aren't your female vocals like you're expecting, how they're, just powerful. They're not Within Temptation or Epica type vocals. They're softer, and they provide such a soft touch, and they really add to the atmosphere of the track, and they're just perfectly placed. Just about everything on here I feel is pretty much perfectly done. And it just feels like the tracks are all put together so well. And I feel that they really put a lot of thought into putting the songs together to making sure they flow, because there wasn't one part on here where I was like, that doesn't go well, that doesn't flow. Everything just is steady and so smooth in its transitions, and just it's so well executed. And the female vocals really are an example of how well executed everything is. Um, Now, my personal favorite track on this record is the fifth track, and that is Aurora. Oh my god, that is one of the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tracks I've ever heard. It is so gorgeous, and it's just so dark and depressing sounding, and there's a guitar harmony that comes in the beginning of that track, and it just blows my mind every single time. I just feel so sucked in, and nothing around me matters when I'm listening to that track. It's just this record really commands your attention. You can't just throw this on and go around doing your fucking business. It demands your attention. And every time you put it on, it will keep you interested for sure. And I bought this the day it came out, and I have listened to it over and over and over and over again. And each time, I just can't really do anything else. I just sit down. Not that I want to. It's that good that it really holds your attention. Now, I think that this is personally one of the heaviest albums that I think I will hear all year, and you might as well. I feel after Aurora, the second half of this record is just fucking crushing. And that's where I feel a lot of doom metal influence there. And I think it's crushing because of the guitar tone that is used by Tom Gabriel Fisher. His guitar tone is just monstrous. It seriously feels like a monster just encroaching on you and is about to murder you. That's what it sounds like, and it's just this big fucking sound, and it's just dun dun. It's just like fuck. Yeah, you just crank it up, and you make that face. You're like yes. It's all part of the guitar tone, and it's just a very thick, evil sounding guitar tone, and I love it. But then it can also be beautiful when it can, or when it needs to be. But I think the greatest thing about this album is just the atmosphere. There is not one moment on here where I feel like I'm seeing a bunch of white light. I feel like the whole thing is just darkness. And the whole thing is just a giant, thick black cloud hanging over my head. I feel like, I wouldn't be walking outside on a nice sunny day listening to this album. It would be darkness. It would be midnight outside or something. Or just a fucking rainstorm or something. The atmosphere is fucking off the charts for this album, and it's mostly just this dark, brooding atmosphere, and it's that atmosphere is on every track, no matter how fast or slow it is. It's darkness. The melodies, even they don't make it happier. They make it darker, and I love that. I love albums with dark, moody atmospheres. And I just feel that that's the greatest strength, that all 9 tracks seriously work so well together, and they mix this well. This has a phenomenal production, absolutely 100% well done production. This is just a solid album. I definitely feel that this will be in a lot of people's top 10 list, especially for me. I have a feeling that this will land in the top 10. This is just a crushing record. And it's just, if you just want something heavy, damn, right here it is. If you want something, you just want to listen to something evil with a very dark atmosphere, dark tone to it throughout, this is it. If you want to even hear something just gorgeous with a lot of melody, this is it. If you want something that just has all types of musical genres coming in and lots of diversity, this is it. This carves its own path. You can't set this in one genre. I can't say this record is just a doom metal album or a death metal album or whatever. It carves its own path and sets its own trends. And that is phenomenal. It's nice to see something like that this day and age in metal. So, I personally do not think that this is an at least for me, as of right now, this is not an album of the year contender for me, but it is up there, like I said, in the top 10. I have no doubt that it will be in the top 10. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal record, and I urge you all to pick it up and just sit down. Don't listen to this album and do other shit. Sit down, put on your headphones, put it on your stereo, drive a good hour, 7 minutes, because that's how long this album is, and this album goes by quickly, too, because it's that good. But, you know, listen to this album. Give it your full 100% attention. I'm going to give this a 9.25 out of 10. This is a seriously fucking phenomenal album. And so it is Triptykon with Melana Chasmata. Once again, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Don't fucking murder me if I did not pronounce that right. Buy this. Good shit. I'll see you guys around. Later.